G'day guys and welcome back to another video here with Enno from Fantasy Take TV. Today we'll be doing the round 3 review. So good weekend of footy. SuperCoach aside, it was another good weekend of footy. I've actually really enjoyed the footy so far this season. A couple of new teams bobbing up that we thought might not have been, too handy. Look, Carlton were always primed to be good. Whether or not they were going to show that was to be seen, but they're looking really strong. Good fight back from the Hawks, though, in that game as well, who have surprised. Collingwood even, I know they gave up their lead on Saturday night, but they were strong for 3 quarters against Geelong. The Saints came back as well and toppled over my Tigers as well. So, it's been some good footy. Really enjoying it. For SuperCoach, though, as you can see, I scored 21-33. Thought that was better than what it's actually turned out to be, and actually saw me drop about 4,000 spots to just inside 12k. So look, it's still so early after 3 rounds that I think if I was 100 points less total, I'd be about 20k. So it's just very volatile early, but that's the same as it would be in any sort of fantasy sport. So early on, it's still very tight, hard to separate yourself. So just important to see where your team's at, any important rookies you're missing, obviously injured players or underperformed primos or, out of position primos, something like that is what you got to fix up. But for now, we've just got to start holding the trades and waiting for those cash cows to make some money. But, let's get into the team. I did use 2 trades, my first 2 trades last week. There was a lot of ways you could have gone, and I think a lot of us were weighing up on, do we boost for certain players? Obviously, Paddy Cripps was probably the talk of the town or the most traded in player. I think George Hewitt ended up being the most traded in player, but he was someone locked in my side sort of a couple of weeks before round 1. I didn't end up getting Paddy Cripps, so what I did end up doing was Whitfield and Mitch McGovern, who copped an injury, I think, at training, or he's out for 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring, and that was always a worry with him. And of course, that did come to fruition. But went Whitfield down to Bowie, so essentially it was McGovern to Bowie, a bit of a mid-price swap. Could have gone to Brody, but opted for Bowie so I could get McGovern up to Heaney in the forward line, which is what Heaney's someone I really wanted to start. Structure didn't allow. Obviously, if I went with something like this from the start, this is how the team would have looked, but just made that switch last week. Could have boosted to get Berry, but that would have required Bowie to be pretty much a dead rookie. I didn't have enough money for it to be like a Driscoll or Skinner. Went into the season with only like $1,000 in the bank, which again, that's probably a mistake on my part. It's a good lesson for a lot of us that you probably should, you don't want to aim to make a team that leaves you 30k in the bank, because you want to build the best team possible, which is what I did for round 1. But again, it is always handy to have that extra cash in the bank. So I could have got a Skinner or a Driscoll, who, mind you, both, Skinner got injured and Driscoll didn't really look up to it quite yet, but that would have allowed me to get Berry up to Cripps as well. So I would have got Cripps and Heaney in, but I would have done Whitfield all the way down to, I would have had to get in a non-playing rookie, essentially, 117k rookie or something and I looked really hard at that, and not a lot of them, or pretty much none, looked like getting a game anytime soon. So pretty much would have had to be a loophole, and trading in a loophole in round 3 is just really, really bad SuperCoach. So opted to go for Bowie. He had that 150 in his cycle, put up a good 90 again, so he's going to make a lot of cash, which is really good. And Heaney sort of ticked along with his 88. Could have been more, had a few clangers in the contest, a couple of handball clangers, and then got done holding the ball. So, probably left a ton out there, but gets north this week and could go bananas. So, yes, I don't have Paddy Cripps. Probably 90% owned around, in all the teams around me now. So that is a very, very big antipod, and we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks. Carlton do have a pretty soft draw, so look, he looks really good. Look, he's still the Paddy Cripps of old. You don't want him kicking the ball too much. He still can't do that, but he looks really strong inside. Tackled well, got 10 tackles, so could be a big miss. But if I am impressed with Paddy in a few weeks, he could be one of my, upgrades in the midfield. So that's the route. That's the route I've chosen to go down. May define my season, but I'm willing to just take him on for now, so to speak. But yeah, look, let's get into the team before we waste too much more of your time. And Tom Stewart, 104. I would have preferred it to be a 103, so he would have gone with three straight 103s, but got scaled down about 10 points at full time, and it is a little bit annoying. Yes, he did have 8 clangers during the game, and kicked an out on the full. He did get done holding the ball himself as well, but he was clearly in a way the best on ground on Saturday night, and you just always feel, I think, with Tommy Stewart that he deserves more points than he gets, but that's the nature of the game. And look, he does score pretty easily with a lot of kickouts and that sort of stuff. But look, really happy with him. He's going to be a top 6 defender in my eyes. He looks over that foot injury, so I'm really, really happy I started him. Albeit he will drop a little bit of cash. I think he has 130 break even, so he definitely should be on your radar as one of your first upgrades in defence if you don't have him already. Shorty, ain't much more need to be said about this guy. He just racks it at will. Is the number one guy out of defence, clearly. Rioli stepped up a bit too, which is good to see, but it's Shorty's back line, and he, another 30 touches on the weekend. Just does what he needs to do for SuperCoach, and look, he might have a couple of down games here and there like he did last year, but I think his floor is just a little bit better now, with especially Hooley gone, so not much more needs to be said about Shorty. He'll be a top 6 defender as well, and very durable, which is good. Dawson. Jordan Dawson, what an absolute man. Love starting this guy as well. Just super talented, great kick on him. Love what he did in the sort of back half at Sydney last year. Obviously, there was a little bit of uncertainty, and there probably still is around what his role is in the team. Played some half forward, played some midfield in the first couple of rounds. But it's sort of around, the game just gone. Looks to be settled at halfback and the wing, so that's pretty good for his scoring. Obviously, wing, you can score a bit more forward of the ball with scoring chain, score assists, and obviously goals. Which now he's kicked a goal every week and kicked 2 on the weekend. Which we know, of course, one of them was the game winning goal, which swung back nicely. So, look, would have preferred a bigger score from him for such a game and how important he was to the result of that game. But really happy with the selection, and going forward, I think he'll be a top 6 defender as well. So look, I've really gone pretty well. Like, I think if you were to pick, look, it's been 3 rounds, what the defence you would want, I think I've almost got it. The next man, George Hewitt, is really not need to be spoken about. A lot of people were worrying, got sucked into the trap in the first quarter when he only had 2 touches, but he's clear in a way the second mid in that team. I mean, it's been shown for 3 weeks now. Yes, there was no Walsh round 1, no Chera round 2, but everyone was there. Sam Walsh only had like 30% CBAs. He was playing a lot of wing, bit of half forward, and he can still find the ball, Sam Walsh. Like, he's an absolute jet. So him and Chera are more on the outside. Hewitt and Cripps, they are the 2 guys in the middle that will be there nearly every time. Hewitt had the most, besides Cripps, centre bounce attendances. So we are not worried about George Hewitt one bit. He looks to be everything of a top 6 defender as well, and started the third quarter, he had about 9 touches in 8 minutes, so he was absolutely cooking. Got himself up from his pretty average first half and churned out another ton, which was good. Jake Bowie was really good, or Bowie. He didn't have a lot of touches, obviously nowhere near as many as he had last week, but to still eke out an 80-90 was really, really good. A lot of spoils, had a couple of intercepts, which, is for a little fellas is really, really good to see. So, I think there's still a little bit of upside, and he can have another decent score if he just finds a bit more of the pill. I mean, Angus Brayshaw had it on an absolute string, 35, I think, and 20 marks, which is ridiculous. So hopefully Bowie can get some of that. Trent Rivers even scored pretty good himself, got more of the ball. So, look, I hope Bowie can get some more touches in the coming weeks, but he's pretty much locked himself into 450k at this point. So, unless he drops a stinker, he's going to absolutely make a lot of coin, which is, really happy getting him as a result of Whitfield. So, look, mind you, I wasn't totally for trading Whitfield. I just really wanted Heaney, and Gov had to go. I could have obviously gone to Brody, but it's just the route I decided to go down. I liked what I saw from Bowie and his highlights the week before against Gold Coast. So, happy with having him in the team, and the Minge taking kickouts, got a good left foot on him. Honestly, like he He had a couple of lasering inside 50, so yeah, loving what I'm seeing with the Minge, and he will stay on for McCartan for the foreseeable future. Paddy was clunking him early, so yeah, look, he'll tick along. He'll make some cash, hopefully get to 300k at some point. And De Koning just went forward late and actually scored most of his points there with a couple of key involvements in some of those late goals that helped Geelong get across the line. So he juiced his score up to a 50, which, look, he'll be a pretty slow burn, but yeah, with him, just hopefully stays in the team. Onto the midfield, and Jack McRae, very, very annoying that last quarter, him scoring literally, I think he went backwards after being on a 97 through 3 quarters. So shafted to the wing. It's just, the Dogs, they've just got too many guys. And when Baz come back, he finds it easily. Treloar's having a good start to the season. Bont, Libba, Dunks looks pretty good. It's just so many guys. So I think, in the last quarter, the others were just going so well. McRae just, he started on the bench at the start of the quarter, came on and just played wing and just couldn't find it, which can happen on the wing sometimes. And it's a bit annoying. We really want him to play inside, but we hold on to him. Maybe something I'll raise to the boys on the podcast who obviously both of them got Cripps in. Would you do a downgrade of a McRae to a Cripps because you make 150k and you expect Cripps to make another probably 100k from here, and of course McRae to drop some. So is that worth a trade? Not sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess we got on to the next guy, Tuke Miller, who copped the double tag from GWS, and he could be a guy that I make that sort of move for. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. I know pretty much everyone probably watching this has Paddy Cripps now. Would you do something like that? Looking at my team, I don't think I will, but because I've sort of made my bed with Paddy Cripps, and it's pretty much all I can do from now. But yeah, is it worth a trade? Yeah, Tuke, pretty frustrating, especially if you captained him. Copping the double tags, the only way the man can be stopped, really. One tagger can't do it, so he'll bounce back. He works harder than anyone almost in the competition, so I think, yeah, Tuke will be fine. Just is a little bit annoying. Lachie Neale, that was very, very fortunate that he was able to push through that ankle injury and get a ton for us. That could have been worse than Miller. That could have been worse. I think he was on about 40 or something when he twisted that, and then I saw the big cherry just bowl him over while he was trying to sort his injury out. So that wasn't great, but yeah, worked his way back into it and just fought through for some junk time and got himself the ton. So we appreciate that from Lachie. Matty Rao didn't really get much of the pill himself in that GWS game and just tackled his way to a ton, which is good for Rao. Like, that's what we want to see, but we would like to see him get more of the ball. He had no help with Tuke getting tagged by 2 blokes and Matty Rao being really the only other guy in there. Noah Anderson didn't have much of a good game himself. So, look, yeah, we take that so far from Matty Rao. Hopefully he can get to mid 500s, and then we assess there if he's still a keeper or not and how he's going. Berry had a big first quarter, I think 35 points, similar, around that, and then just did his fade out again. I mean, look, Brisbane scored a lot of points, a lot of SuperCoach points, and they had to be shared around. So, yeah, would have been nice to get a ton from that game just to kickstart some real good cash gen, but he'll still make some money for us. So, yeah, look, yeah. I know a lot of you guys probably traded him out for Cripps. That was sort of your avenue. So, you're probably happily seeing him not go too well. But, yeah, look, I'll take 80s. Hopefully, he can get to 400k would be really nice, and then we can move him on. Horn Francis, I mean, he looked okay in the midfield. North didn't put up, I was going to say much of a fight, but a fight at all, really. So, yeah, it looked okay. I'm not going to bench him. He does have a big score in him at some point, I think. But, yeah, North's running gets really hard from here. And they're missing a few midfielders. So, yeah, look, hopefully he keeps playing some decent mid-time and can get a big score soon. Dacos looked really good. I mean, he's been switching roles all over the place now. Played a bit of half forward, kicked a nice goal, bit more midfield, and not as much defence as he's been playing. So it's one to watch. Like, he may not get the defence DPP that we're looking for, to sort of cover the back line. But yeah, it would be annoying if he just didn't get DPP at all because of the forward time and just wasn't eligible for for any of it and just stayed in mid, that would be slightly annoying. But yeah, hopefully plays enough defence just to get over the line in a couple of rounds. Josh Ward, a little bit annoying. Look, he started pretty poor, didn't get much of the footy, and then had a 12-touch second quarter. Got himself up to about 40-odd. And didn't do anything in the second half, especially in the comeback that the Hawks had, which is, it's annoying. He could have been involved. Big points up for grabs and got a pretty good score, but he just couldn't do it, which is unfortunate. The role is there. I think he had 70-something CBAs, which is really good. So he's getting it. It's just, I think the score's coming. Just need to wait. I think be patient. I think a few people might have traded him out as well for their Cripps trade. So my strategy's been to keep the cash gen going. I haven't used a boost yet, and then when that time comes, really go aggressive with the trades and the boosts, and hopefully storm home a bit later on. So really need these guys to make some good coin so we can do that, and then hopefully go well that way. And look, Dylan Stevens, he didn't really help on that front, did he? With that 20, I know a lot of you guys might have boosted to get him in, and that's looked really, really annoying. I've always had him, but that is very frustrating. Lucky I was able to loop him, so I didn't get that 20. But yeah, it's really annoying. That's really going to stunt him for a couple of weeks. So I think the worry, maybe he loses his spot, but I think they don't. Obviously, McInerney's coming back, but he doesn't play. He plays half back, sort of wing. Hopefully, he holds his spot, and someone like a Cunningham makes way for J-Mac. So we'll see. Watch that space. C-Mac, he looks really good forward of the ball. He runs hard, gets into good positions. Thinks he plays a bit of wing too, but kicked the goal. I like what I've seen from him. I think the Hawks, probably got more than what they thought with him. I don't know, what pick was he, 27 or something. So I think they'll be really happy with that one. And I still have Owen. So I pretty much got every other rookie except Rochelle. So I did fade Rochelle just for cash. Consider it like I couldn't afford, my defenders, and couldn't afford the team I wanted to start the year by going him as well as Stevens. So I had to make the decision there. I wouldn't know if I would rather Rochelle over Stevens right now after that score. But look, he didn't put up a great one himself, Rochelle. So Owens, I'll have to wait until someone decent comes up somewhere. I don't really have any DPP to send to the mids. None of these rookies really do, besides forward defence. So he'll stay there for now, be my loop until someone, decent pops up. Driscoll is on the bubble this week. I can get him, but he may not even get picked. Who knows what happens there? So for now, Owens will stay until a good rookie pops up. Shrek Darcy. God, that was just such a long wait to find out that he wasn't going to be playing. All the way till Saturday, 5:30, to see the teams and see the man's name on the out list. So I think he was really close. I'm pretty confident that he'll be getting up for this week's game. Got to help Meek out against the big Bruce. I think they'll probably bring Flynn in as well, so it'll be sort of a double ruck set up against each other. So hopefully gets up. Need him to. It's been part of the play of holding him for 3 rounds. So when he does come back, he to me is going to be the clear number 1 ruck. The worry is, does he stay on the park? And obviously he hasn't been able to do that so far. So it's a big risk I'm taking, but I'm still, you'd think that someone that's carried 640k on the bench for 2 rounds, he's only played once for me. I'd be in a worse position than I am. So, maybe it's a bit of point of difference. It's more than a point of difference. I don't think anyone's doing what I'm doing besides Zachy Rocket. Shout out, mate. So hopefully we can get him back and Blair as well. I don't know why I forgot you, the Shrek boys. So hopefully we can get him back and he can pump out some absolute mammoth scores for us. And I think he's going to get forward. He's going to get forward eligibility, which is a little bit annoying because then other people will be targeting him. But hopefully that's too scared off that they don't want to get him in, or he's pumping out 180s, so he's too expensive. But we'll see how that goes. And Grundy really, honestly, has not impressed me at all. I don't know what is going on with him. What was he on, like bloody 10 through a quarter and a half and just not doing anything. So he did manage to get a decent score in the end. But don't know what's going on. I mean, I think obviously English is the guy that you wish you would have started at ruck 2 and maybe obviously over Darcy, and I would be well ahead at the moment. But he's ruck 1, and then it's like Wits and it's Riley O'Brien. Like, It's a very, very strange year for the Rucks, which I think we always thought was coming, but not to this sort of the way it is happening now. But yeah, so I had to field Jack Hayes, and look, I knew it wasn't going to be great, but just needed someone as a backup. If Darcy wasn't going to play, which he didn't, so yeah. I mean, he salvaged a 57. It could have been a lot worse, to be perfectly honest. Kicked a late goal. Maybe if you kicked that goal earlier, might have been worth a few more points, because I think the game was already done at that point. So yeah, look, we take that and move on, and hopefully Darcy plays this week. Josh Dunkley, yeah, he was the choice of VC, and funnily enough, if you went with him and took it, you would have had the best captaincy score really of the week, unless you had Oliver. So yeah, Dunks looks good, back to his best. I think he's a good VC option or captaincy option this week against Richmond, who, will just leg a crap ton of points in the midfield. So yeah, if you have a loop, or if he's your captaincy option backup, he'll be a really good option for me. Heaney, big week this week against North. Part of the reason I got him in with the fixtures over the next few weeks with North, West Coast, and Hawthorn. Tempted to put the VC on him and then sort of have Dunkley as a backup, or McRae. So that's an option. I'll think about that later in the week. He's still getting up the ground. He played a little bit of midfield. Obviously, it's still more forward at this stage, but I'm happy with the role. He probably scored worse when he was in the midfield, to be honest. A couple of handball clangers, but he's okay. So just need him to kick a bag against North, and then it'll be justified getting him in last week. Love watching him play. Butters, I didn't catch the game, so I didn't catch most of it. I saw the last couple of quarters here and there on the TV, but I didn't really see what happened to Butters. I think something happened to him early, but he'll be okay. Yeah, he just is a bit prone to knocks and stuff like that. So hopefully he stays on the park, and yeah, if he is healthy for a full game, we know what he can do scoring wise. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a blemish, but he'll be fine. Cogs, good to see. Yeah, really good to see from Cogs put that performance together. Just saw he only had a 30% CBA, so found a lot of the pills sort of half forward and pushing up the ground. So really, really good performance. Looks like to be a keeper at this stage. Obviously, we'll reassess that around the buys and see how he goes till then. But yeah, looks in really good nick. Cherry, yeah, I mean, what a selection he's been. Been really, really good. He did get lucky with the Nick Nat out in last week, but put up a pretty good performance against Omac. Omac's been pretty decent ruckman for a couple of years now. I think there's a bit of heat going on there. Omac got suspended for something. So, yeah, Cherry, I think this week we'll get Laddams now. Hickey's been ruled out for 6 weeks, so that's another good chance for him to put up a good score. And, yeah, I think we labelled him as a must-have last week, and he's going to make a lot of coin. So, yep, good to see from the Cherry. Nico Martin just finds the footy, man. Like another 20 touches. He's just so fieldable. It's just, yeah, really happy I started him. Got that big score week 1. Was pretty annoyed he was ruled out week 2 with that COVID out, because he could have put up another decent one. But yeah, he'll be my F6 for the time being. That isn't changing. I know Durden went better than him just on the weekend, but Nick Martin is who I will be fielding from here on out. There's not too much more I want to get into. I'm just going to quickly run over who, maybe get DPP in a couple of weeks. So it is at the end of round 5 for round 6. So it's not actually, it's a week earlier than we probably thought, which is good. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. So I think guys that can in defence, it's just Mitch Hinge. He's playing up the ground a bit of half forward, half back and wing. So whether it's enough wing to get mid status, that'll be handy. A bit of flexibility in the mids. In the midfield, obviously you've got Horn Francis if he gets enough forward time, which maybe doesn't now with those mids out. So that is a little bit annoying, but that's one to watch. Dacos, I spoke about. He may not get the status with more forward mid time last week, but may change week to week. Who knows what the plan is there? But hopefully the first 2 weeks of defence time is enough. Josh Ward won't. He'll stay in mid. Dylan Stevens will stay in mid. Connor McDonald probably get forward status, which is good. And then Machito, doesn't matter. So, yeah, Sean Darcy, he'll, I think, pretty much guaranteed get forward status, because even when he's back, he's only got 2 games to sort of play some ruck time and cancel out that. I think he was 60% forward in round 2 in the 1 game he's played. So I think he's almost guaranteed to get it. And then we've just got guys Not in our team. Ones I'm trying to think. I think there's a couple of I think Bont's not quite going to get there. Someone sent a graphic where I think Baz Smith is close to, which he played more mid on the weekend. So, the Dogs, I think Libba might too. They're just going to, because Bevo chops and changes, when it hits round 5, if one of them's played more forward up until that point, they might get it. So, but yeah, ones in my team, they're the ones to watch. No one else really relevant I can think of. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm holding this week unless a rookie that I think should be coming in for Owens, I'll do that. Otherwise, yeah, only Sean Darcy will probably get out a trade out of me, but I'm not even I mean, if he's out again, I'll probably look at holding him again and just play Hayes for one more week, provided he's named. So that's pretty much it. Let me know how you went, what trades you're thinking of. We're going to record the podcast in a little bit, so yeah, leave your comments down below. I'll be sure to get back to you, and thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.